hard to wear. My mask is so wet. Like, okay, so let me tell you my story. I'm gonna switch it too. I can't even take it. Hold on. Other mask is available. Oh, let me sit down first. So here's the deal. I went to, God, this is like horrible. The worst possible thing happened to me. I'm wearing my VR helmet in the airport as I get out of California, which is great. So, let's see. That looks good. Go sit over there. Yep, so I'm in the airport. And I've got my VR helmet and my PlayStation, my cameras, my projectors. And this is just like, you know, like the stuff that I have my clothes in another bag, 2 bags. And I'm like getting out of California. I've been noticing a couple people making videos like this recently. Oh, this is hard to wear. Imagine me, right? Like I have to wear a VR helmet on the airplane. Okay, so let me tell you my story. So, I went, a lot of people have been saying that California's like government is destroying it. I've seen several different YouTube channels say that they're leaving California. I know Ben Shapiro just made a huge deal about it. And he's saying how hard it is on his wife because he's lived in California all his life. And I get that. But I've lived other places too, and I'll tell you, California has got, you know, some positives. There's good people, a lot of good things going on. But it's just, there's a lot of problems. And I just get a lot of anxiety recently. You know, maybe that's just the chest ache from the fire, but it's just, it feels kind of like not great. So I'm thinking about going back to Minnesota, which is good. I'm doing that right now. And that's what's going on. I'm gonna vote out of Minnesota. I'm in a residence there. I've been kind of, you know, I was living there de facto for the last few months, so that seems like the best deal for me is to go back there right now. Anyway, I'm got in the airport, did my legendary pat down. They looked at me like I was crazy, said that there was like fertilizer on me. They were worried it was like a bomb or something. Took me in the back room. It's the first time I've had to have that happen in like ages. Really, I don't think, you know, a couple years now. So that was funny, but it was no big deal. You know, the guys were nice and they had a conversation with me, and I don't know if it was true. Like I could literally have had fertilizer on my shirt because I was working in a garden of tomatillos recently, and I had a matchbook my mom gave me which has magnesium in it. So I mean, it's plausible, but I have all kinds of crazy stuff, and they didn't give me any trouble, and they like were really nice to me. And you know, same old, and then they were like, you know, trying to make it seem scary to see if they'd freak me out, and it wasn't really. And they were like, all right, well then we're gonna have to check you to make sure you don't have a bomb, and then if there's more fertilizer, then we're gonna call the fire department or the bomb people to come talk to you for a while, and then you get on your plane. It's a good thing you came early. And I was like, all right. Yeah, I was more worried about the PlayStation, so I was dealing with that. But it's not that bad. It could have been worse. So let's see, things that are happening recently. There's a chat I'm doing with Team Rabbit Hole tomorrow. The Echo the Dolphin chat, still, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer because things have been crazy, you know, like considering how many times I've flown this year, you shouldn't be that worried about COVID the same way they tell you. I'm not saying it like that, but you know, I think even these guys were like, whoa, you've flown a lot this year. I'm like, yeah, you know, I said, like, I don't necessarily believe in COVID any more than I don't believe in Pizzagate or something. Like, the whole thing is just, like, skepticism, which is kind of funny. Like, it's like they're put them on the same level for them, psychologically. But, yeah, no, I feel like tremendously safer than people think you should internationally or traveling in airports. It's like a clean place, and you know, there's so many less people flying now. It's like it's totally fine, and they're eager to serve and make life easier. So yeah, I don't know, that's basically it. I just, you know, I kind of wanted to say like how weird that is. I had that happen to me just now. Plus, you know, it's not that weird, it's usual destiny. but also like what it's like to fly around with a VR headset, because you know, I don't think they're really ready for me to exist, and I like that, you know. But yeah, it's pretty cool though. Like, I think I'm the most Blade Runner person you're ever gonna run into. Like, I'm at like here, like full on outfit right now. Like, okay, like, can you beat that? Like, is this a thing that can be? Is there a better thing than this to wear all the time? Like, seriously, I don't know. So far, I think this wins. Well, I'm not getting any messages from anybody, so maybe you guys are all kind of busy living your life, and that's all right. But at least I checked in. So, also, you guys should be checking out the deepfake battle group. You might have appeared from the future and been looking for a brain scan for all the security might have been known, eager to let you go, maybe. Makes one kind of want their job. You need a VR vest, make it active. Yeah, and the power glove. Dude, if I start wearing power gloves, let's just remake the power glove. But like, right? I know some people have done some power gloves. But yeah, I'm definitely hitting new levels of tech, cyberpunkisms. You know, and Cyberpunk 76 or whatever the fuck is coming out like next week, and I'm gonna be like alive like during that week instead. Like, I'll be just like in that world without having to play a video game. But yeah, you need a VR vest to make it active. I don't need a VR vest to make this helmet active, but I could get a VR vest. This helmet connects to the PlayStation. I did do the Oculus conference a couple days ago, and that was pretty interesting. And I'm considering the new Oculus just because it is like a standalone unit. But the best thing still is like you have a phone in a little thing like this that you wear, and you can do it in water. And that's what I've been working on more. I was reading Carlyle. He's very wordy, but at one time he mentions Tartarian deep, so it got me researching. In ancient mythology, it was a kind of word for the underworld that lies beneath the surface of the earth. Thought it interesting. Yes, Lavish Patch Kid. Lavish Patch Kid. Lavish Patch. That's good. That's like a British, like Lavish Patch. Where's he from? He's from Lavish Patch. Sherman Hill and Lavish Patch. Well, they did, yeah. So Tartarus is like Hades. So that's a big thing, is this idea that we're all dead in the simulation. You know, I'm not surprised. I'm not really, like, it's hard to tell, but I'm not actually selling you on that one. But it is interesting, that idea that we're in a Hades realm. I've made a number of analogies to people who believe that, and I think it's worth at least acknowledging that there's people in society that like make our media that might believe some crazy stuff. I mean, like, schizophrenics and things exist and make media, so it's very possible that we're dealing with people that believe we're dead, and they're saying we're already in hell, and that's affecting our reality. I mean, here, you know what? Let's go look at this art. This art looks crazy. They're like probably like, don't leave your luggage over there. I'm like, oh yeah, right. Except for, you know, I did just get swatted. So, but isn't that pretty? Isn't that nice? This has got that very Denver International Airport vibe. It seems chill, but you get a little closer and you start noticing that that rainbow pony is escaping from a nebula that's probably Pleiades. That looks like a city that's coming down. And then, you know, what is this? The native flag made into checkers. This is an interesting symbol with Tron paths and then like racing, but equivalent. I don't know. I see the Aztec, you know, what do you call it? The Quechua native indigenous flag kind of sticks out. So, what are some things going? I'm trying to remember, like, 'cause there's been so much stuff I've seen going on in the world. You all been watching Cobra Kai, which is pretty good. I hope that you're doing the epic reface battles, because the deepfake thing is important, because we're trying to show how much that's going to start happening, and it's been happening, and how easy it really is to do it. And then there's also a psychological thing about putting your face and your friends' faces over celebrities. So celebrities are like stand-ins for your experience only, you know. and they're not important anymore because they're just there to, stand in for you. And then that's the beauty, is you start to then break out of simulation theory and start to become yourself more, because you see yourself in all the media you're watching filtered out. And there's another side of it, which is like video games will start putting your face in characters, and when you see your friend in a game, it'll look like your friend live, and it'll have facial reactions that are not even their own or are their own. And that's part of what's so scary about the future. We don't even know how weird the future is going to be, because it's going to be like mostly fake, like that's a big part of it, is illusions are coming really strong, and it's going to make it hard for us to believe in anything that we're experiencing, which is fine, because you shouldn't always believe in everything you experience. You shouldn't think that your empiricism is true all the time, and that like your heart is hurting when your nerves aren't even on your heart, and it's just your chest ache from anxiety. Like you should know these things, and it's like it's going to be important for us to start to separate the idea of sickness from your body as property, and disease as spirit, and also mental perception of reality. I'm gonna let these kids walk by. I don't think they're worrying about it. That's cool. I have a dog. Nice. That's cool. The dog gets to fly. Good for the dog. Well, I don't know. I don't need to shoot off my mouth over every day in front of everybody. I just wanted to share some of that stuff. Thanks, Double Helix. Love the work that I do, he says. Thank you. You inspire lots of interesting topics in your community radio station. Double Helix, share a link for people that want to check out your radio station, and maybe we can do something together sometime, and it's totally cool. Like, also suggest anything that you want me to look into more. Okay, F the vest, just plug the VR into your brain. Well, got it ready for plug in and play. You know what I mean? But, but I did just do a call with OpenBCI, which is a brain scanning EMG, EEG, EFG company. They do all sorts of different, where in your head certain kinds of radio waves are coming from. And it's all exterior. You wear it outside yourself. And this is TSA that had to watch me. But they the wave was like, hey, hang loose. Like, really? Okay. But does it smell, my VR helmet? Fuck you. No, my VR does not smell. If anything, it smells like Rose 31 from Le Labo or something. Y'all don't know how good I smell on a good day. It's true. Ask some people who've dealt with me after like a month of living in like the desert or in the Amazon, and I'm sure the story is a bit more pungent, I imagine. But in general, it's not so bad. And I have a backup Back to the Future hat too, because I've got my old one and I've got a new one too, so I'm ready to travel. But it's not so bad. There's, have you guys ever used MSM water to like clean things, like besides your lungs? Because you can, sign will allow it, he says. Well, okay, so OpenBCI though, you guys should check out. They're an interesting company, and I was suggesting to them some stuff recently. I gave them some ideas for non-Euclidean Unity projects and how to use the EMG sensors more, and how they can make it easier in front end. But one of the things also is they're talking about making products that are, more for scientific labs, and they want it to be like $5,000. And they're asked would you think $5,000 is a reasonable price to pay? And I was like, not really, because it's like the thing you're working on doesn't need to cost that much. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to make that product, that's fine. But it's like then you're not making the open BCI brain, connectivity interface. So you're making something that's not open, and you're making it more, and it depends on the price of the parts and components and stuff, but it should be as close to component cost as possible so that people will start supporting the software that you guys are creating. But there's, they're looking at it like open source hardware models and said, well, you guys should be contributing to, the growth of brain scan technology, because if you can make it so that people who have disabilities can control their bodies, or even better, let's say you can figure out where certain signals in the brain are coming from that are causing people to commit crimes or have impure thoughts in the long run, the Jesuits, right? You'll be able to electrocute that part of the brain and neutralize those signals, turn off anxiety, turn off impure thoughts. So when traveling to Sikkim, we discovered that everyone there is growing organic and has so many cool kinds of cows, etc. Happy eyes and great yogurt too. That was funny too. So they checked my bag for everything, and I was like, uh-oh. And I was already worried they were gonna take my gummy bears, because I have organic gummy bears, and I don't even really love them that much, but they're organic and they're pretty good. And they didn't. There was not a problem. I was like, really? Like, of all things, like, I figured that was, that. But they were looking for fertilizer, because I had, supposedly, I don't know if it's true, but like, they probably just thought I was crazy looking. I would imagine they lied. But they scanned a machine and stuff, so it's plausible. Because I did go to my friend's house, and he's been growing tomatillos and jalapenos. My friend Ryan, who's awesome. Shout out to Ryan. He doesn't like it when I report him by his full name anymore, which is funny, because all he does is grow organic tomatillos. And I mean, that's pretty fucking funny. I mean, he is like a full-on garden that's amazing. And he's been growing tomatoes and like heirloom things. I mean, the guy's about to become probably like an organic gardening heirloom king, like where you make money off of like thousands of dollars off tomatoes and stuff. It's just crazy. Like, if you think about it, like just doing it right with like fish meal and stuff, and growing some of the stuff he's growing is like the best stuff I've ever had. And it's grown the same way that they are growing like the most expensive medical cannabis products in California. But they can't do that always anymore, because it's just, the market's gone. So he grows, tomatoes, and they're just the best, literally, that have ever been grown. They're huge. The only thing like them is like when I was living in South America by the rainforest, the Amazonian carrots and tomatoes that are the size of your arm. It's nuts, man. Hey, yeah, that's true, Robert. Thank you. Hit that like button, folks. Lousy thoughts. Did I have a lousy thought? What did I say? Did I have a bad thought? I'm sorry, Sign. You can explain more if I miss something. What's up, Intriguing Whimsy? Just hanging out at the airport. Let's see here. Looking at some of the things you guys are saying. Lousy thoughts. Tell me more, though. What am I missing? Because like I'm totally... Is that something... Oh, okay. I was like, what? Because I have a lot of thoughts, so it's hard to tell which one's the lousy ones. But there are, like, they're not perfect. Camel Wars. So, Camel Wars, what do you think of Joe Camela? I mean, not the actual people, but just the fact that Joe Camela is the name of the side effects of Trump. Side effects of Trump include Joe Camela. Anybody? Is that too... I don't know. I mean, I don't really like... I'm not that political. I just like cute puns and, dad jokes. K-Fug is the station from NorCal. Think it's K-Fug Radio. I'm gonna say K-Fug Radio, because that's how my brain went there. K-Fug Radio. KFugRadio.org. Do a show every Thursday, 4 to 6. We call it DTL, like Down to Learn, and just like to talk about Down to Live, something like that. That's cool. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Camel Wars. So it's like Info Wars, but it's Kamala. So it's Kamala Harris, but it's like Joe Biden. So Joe and Kamala. So Joe Camel. That's where I was going. When you cross an elephant and a rhino, what do you get when you cross an elephant with a rhino? Tell me more. While I wait for Shinto to answer that. I know that dog is so cute. It's like a cute little dog, right? I love it. There, look at him. Look at my framing capacity. You don't understand how good my framing really is that I can do that. Nice. Elefino. There you go, Shinto. There you go. I got one. How did the pilgrims get to America? How did the educated pilgrims get to America? You all ready for this? Scholarships. Ugh. Dad jokes. Dad jokes are great because nobody gets hurt. It's nice. It's nice. So let's see, what time is it? It is 4:38, which means I've got like literally an hour before the air boarding. Might want to charge my phone or something like that. I'll plug it in 1 minute. Let's see what's been going on. I got a bunch of, oh man, my poor sunglasses are all like, I've been through a lot just by traveling. It's just like a lot. There we go. Clean them up a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna get a new pair already. Oh no, that's fine. That's great. That works. I thought they were like scratched, but they were just got some like wax or something from that guy checking my bags. But yeah, it was weird, man. Like, cause the way they said it, it was like, what? They're gonna like take me to a room? Like, why not just do it here in front of everybody? Like, I don't. And they did the exact same test, and there wasn't like they didn't go deeper. They didn't check my butthole. Like, I didn't get like it wasn't that invasive. So I don't know. It was weird that they took me in another room, but they were just trying to like I don't know. But then everything was fine because I think they realized I'm crazy, not evil. That's how that goes. Oh, and my new phone, dude. Are you recording your waves, bro? I should be recording my waves right now, but I'm just wearing a VR helmet backwards. You know? Because I'm bringing this with me, which is rad. But I do have my EEG stuff, and I was talking to OpenBCI, and they're working on the next generation. I have the 3D printed model that I put together myself of the parts. And well, when I say by myself, I have to admit there was this woman named Camille who actually wired it, and it was really impressive because I was having problems with it for like 2 weeks with the wiring, and she just figured it out so quickly. I don't know, it was really like a gun or something. Like she was like, it's like MK Ultra. She's like put it together like, boop, I know what to do. Like, and it was like so random. She like came over just for like those 2 weeks to like, hang out like while I was in Santa Cruz and put that together and then leave. It was like, all right, training or something. Like, what was the reason for your existence? But yeah, I got that thing working. It was like way too easy. And then the software was working, and then the community's been trying to help me. I felt like the fact the company like sets up private calls with people is whatever. But like with me, I'm like not that. Dude, I'm not doing that much stuff. But I guess like like they liked what I said because they had like a private call with me, and I consulted them about. I was just surprised that they cared what I had to say, really. I mean, I'm not doing that much with BCI right now, or with EMGs, but I have in the past, so maybe they were wondering, like, what it would take for people to keep using their product, but it was interesting, because, yeah, we covered a lot of things, and I felt like they really took to heart what I was saying, because it seems like usually you can tell, and I was the only guy who was like not getting paid by them, and I don't give a damn. I'm not trying to get a job really. So I gave them like pretty honest advice. And so I feel like it might actually get heard and done, which is cool. So I like that when that happens. Indentured servitude and steerage travel accommodations is how my ancestors made it to this continent. Some fun, eh? Yes, Robert. Indentured servitude and serfdom, that's basically life. Spent a good time surfing. Couch surfing, and but to become a villain, and if you have taxation, then you don't need to commit highway robbery, because that's what the barons, the robber barons, the villains, they had to do because people weren't paying their taxes because they'd lost control in the enclosure period, and also the enclosure period, really, because they say the Dark Ages, but check out the enclosure period. It syncs up way better. It makes more sense. There's a period where they start buying these small farms. Oh yeah, and the 360 stuff. So I've been doing a lot of GoPro 360 stuff, the GoPro Max, but I had a scratch on the lens, so I sent it to get repaired because GoPro has like a year-round thing that you can get your camera fixed like really easily, and it was a minor issue, and they did it complimentary because of I'm going back to Minneapolis, Beachmaster. But yeah, I've been doing a number of the 360 footage videos. You should check out that band. They're really good. The Monster, forget what they're called for a second, because they used to be Homebrew, and then they've changed things. It's a new band. They're really great, though. Monster something. You guys probably remember better than I do now, but Nell is doing that with Matt, Catilla, and Curtis, and Jess, I think. Jess. which is the new bassist, and they're really great. And they're, I love that band. I love those people. They're awesome. And I really wish I was staying around because they wanted to do a video on the 25th, but I got to get out of California for a number of reasons. Just anxiety here, that it's falling apart politically is another thing, and this is my chance to get to if you're in the right state, 40 days, 28 days. I think Minnesota's 21 days before the election. Then you can vote in it. So that's a nice thing to swing over there for a little while. Come to WV. Where's WV? West Virginia. Yeah, so my friend's in West Virginia right now, the guy I was talking about, who might have gotten me in trouble with the fertilizer, because he's going with a Russian to the American River, or one of the rivers there in Virginia, in West Virginia, and it's like a stage 5 rapids, like some of the most dangerous ones. And he's going to be doing his inflatable kayak. He just got this amazing $2,500 inflatable kayak. New River sounds about right. Is it like bombed out and made by man or something and super scary? Or not that scary, but apparently it's pretty serious. But yeah, he's got a inflatable kayak that's the size of your JanSport school backpack. It's freaking tiny, and then it inflates, and it's so beast. It's like the nicest thing I've ever seen. And then he's got a nice vest, new helmet. He got in Virginia though, the helmet. And yeah, he's just killing it. It's so rad. Yeah, dude, the river riding, dude, rivers so good. Love rivers. I know it looks like I'm more of an indoor cat, but no, rivers are really cool. I'm really interested in the new VR AR glasses, actually, speaking of real life, that Ray-Ban's company is making for Facebook. They're going to have regular sunglasses that you can wear while you're outside, and they're going to shade your eyes and also project weird things on them. And I wonder if that's going to be interesting, because we're going to start noticing a lot of people who are wearing a mask right now. I think it's going to be partially so that they can prepare them for wearing things on their face that are technological. But this is just like the trainer bra version of it. Did you get a rail connection to the airport today? No. So I got friends, and my dad took me. I took my dad in my car towards his house in Mountain View. Let him have my car so he can deal with that. I'm gonna eventually pick up my car like someday, but I let him use it because he's got a Volkswagen Cabriolet right now, and his other car broke, and so I just let him use my Honda. And then I had Ann I had him drop me off in Mountain View. That's where Ann lives, in Los Altos. So I got to Los Altos. I had Ann take me to the airport, and then once I got to the airport, she dropped me off, and that's basically it. But yeah, the rail connection would have been reasonable. I could have literally gone to San Antonio and taken a train. If you just get right over the hill from Santa Cruz, there is a train, but taking the train from Santa Cruz, I don't think you can really do that. Maybe you can. I don't know. I've never done that before, really, though. Yeah. We have unexplored old preset towns in the middle of nowhere, I recently discovered. And we know COVID is BS here. Yeah, did you hear, Aaron, what I said to the security guards? They're like, you're not afraid of traveling with all this? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily believe that, in COVID any more than I believe in Pizzagate or anything. And it was more like the normie vibe was like, oh, interesting. Because one's real, but one's not. But maybe the other one, it was like weird Gestalt psychology. Yuga Jenny River. Jenny, that sounds right. Those rivers sound good. Yeah, the Honda is the best, and I'm gonna probably have to pick it up. But Brittany has a pretty nice Chevy Tahoe, and that thing's actually dude, you're in the Midwest. It's like freaking cold, and you can turn on your car from inside. And it's an American car. For me, an American car is like an export or import, or it's like a foreign car. It's like, I'm from California. We have Japanese cars, which are our local cars. They're made in California, a lot of them even, or Mexico or whatever. They're shipped in. Well, we have all yeah. And then we have roads that look like you're in Chile or Peru or in Berlin, depending on where you are, like our European roads. Then you come to America, and so Minnesota's like America, and the roads look British kind of or something, but backwards. And it's a weird, different thing. And they have these cars that are made in America. It's like, we don't have American cars. Like, dude, like, Japan, we have only Japanese and Korean cars. We don't, like, I've not seen, if you've seen an American car, run, because it's a cop, right? Like, it's a Ford, you know? And then I had a girlfriend who had a Ford police car just to be crazy, just to be cool, you know? Like, for the most part, it's not American cars here, it's Japanese cars. So, master for morons, he says. Well, maroon, I think is what Bugs Bunny called them. Frankly, I had a Yale theater teacher, well, she graduated from Yale and Masters of Theater, who taught me world theater, direction of stage, and mask wearing, mask acting. And so, both directing masks and wearing masks. So, I have a bit more experience with masks, and I have a sort of privileged position. I think wearing a mask properly is my privilege, you know? Because, you know, if you I just laugh at myself, and it's great. You can't, so here's the thing, I have books on masks, like from school, and they talk to you, like Indonesia and Bali. If you wear a mask, you know, like, you have certain movement of your face that you can do. Like, you can only do so much stuff. And, like, those things really matter. Like, it really changes everything about what you're doing. So the mask for me is, like, amazing. And, like, I can do it, like, hold on, let's go for it. Like, straight up, you don't even need, like, a face. Like, you don't really, because, like, all you really do is you just, like, start to figure out these, like, facial movements that you can do. And they really, like, there's a lot more that you don't need a face to express yourself. You don't need anything, really, to express yourself. And, you know, and even if you do express yourself, you're really just dirt expressing God's breath. So, just, you know, enjoy the mask, live with the mask, feel like you're really doing something with the mask. You know, that's Zoolander stuff, man. It's easy. But yeah, don't be afraid. Don't ever be afraid. That's ridiculous. Let's see here. I think there's a secret about, okay, let's go back. VR is for the sheeple. Well, VR is one thing, AR is another. I think VR is not, I don't think so. I think if I'm programming in VR, it's not for sheeple, because I don't think sheeple will understand how to use the VR I'm working on. And I think the VR I'm working on is non-Euclidean geometry, which is important for changing your hippocampus. And I'm not that concerned that it's for sheeple. I think that some things are, but, you know, I think every tool, like every bicycle, is being converted into some sort of a weapon to brain control people. You know, so it's the same with social media. Like, I don't blame Linux and Unix and everything and piping Python code for Facebook. Like, Facebook is evil. Facebook, not the technology underneath it necessarily that's open source and everything else. Like, we can't just become Luddites and destroy everything. That's not Tartaria. That's literally what happened afterwards, and hidden by crazy esoteric people. So AR windshields would be great, like Most Conscious says. Imagine a car that can drive 120 miles an hour. You're in control of still, because it's automated and easier, but you can still, you know, you assist it. Imagine drones that can fly, and they don't have windows. They have soft foam surfaces that project video, and then it can see outside, and it can actually perceive the condensation or the pressure, and it can move the craft perfectly, and your wine glass never spills while you're sitting in your craft. And so you've got sensors, and you've got augmented reality so that it can make your flight easier. Medicine will be useful. You'll be able to see cancer. What about sonication of viruses, viral sonication? Using this helmet, being able to see a map of your inner body, focusing on certain places in your body, and then sonicating them to kill the virus with sound, or whatever nanobots, you know, that you're dealing with, because it could be a lot of things. So there are healthy uses of it. And yeah, like I said, I think brain scanning, like helping people that have brain issues, like, it's going to be really important. The mask itself shows status, waiting for the diamond-studded mask. Yes, Beachmaster. The diamond-studded mask that I've seen on Facebook as ads looks cool, and I've thought about getting it because it matches like something I would have worn in the year 2001. or something when, you know, things were crazy like that in California. We're buying silly things. Kind of excited about your VR work. Thank you, Aaron Corbett. Yeah, I'm trying to do something useful with it, but, you know, obviously there's a lot of important things we could be doing. What is your middle finger ring design? This is Ohm. I have a Knights of Malta ring, but it's a double cross of Lorraine, but it broke a little bit. It's a little, like, silver is stretched a bit. So I got another one. It's a little small, so I might get another one. Are you afraid to not wear a mask? No, I'm not. I'm not afraid to not wear a mask. But, you know, I am definitely eager to get to Minnesota and out of California, who is me. So, picture Snake Pillskin. I see the world turtle. Cool. Sounds kind of meh, kind of lame, but more power to you, brother. C. Valis, I don't know which part you mean. You're probably right. I don't know. My bad. I don't know what I said. People will buy into it for show. Oh, you think that AR is going to be lame or something? You don't think that augmenting reality to make, you know, like HUD displays on screens, you think all of that's evil completely? You think windows should be clear and they shouldn't have stained glass? Is that what you're trying to say? Whatever you say. The mask, 1 point at the nose for the chin, and 2 for the ears, so popping up our face. Max headroom. Jersey Bob, good one. Augmented reality windows are lame. I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. Migratory pastoralist. Something to be John Lennon. Bhagavad Gita. Watch your language. No, I'm just kidding. Om Mani Padme. Yeah, Padme is the best. And too bad Keira Knightley should have played her, but you know she was the backup and played the stand-in of the princess. I am in polyphonic 2-vol frequencies. 2-vols are great. Email me sometime. I'll give you a neat story about the Mid-Ohio Valley on the West Virginia side here in Parksburg. Aaron Corbett, go on the Discord. It makes it so much easier. So much. I'll put it another way. It's hard for me to remember to email people and to get on email and remember people's emails. And just go on the Discord and send me a message and I'll catch up. It'll be easy. So you know to find the Discord. It's in like almost every video's description. It's probably even in this one automatically now, finally. L. Oakham says they refuse to be a slave. We're all slaves. Like, you know, better is one day in your court than 1,000 elsewhere as king. I'd rather be a slave to God, servant to the Lord, than a king in his own kingdom for a million years or something like that. Careful with believing you have freedom. Define freedom. Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. I like not being free in the sense that I like having certain things left to lose. Like love and loyalty and life and family. Those things are all kind of nice, but liberty is important. But yeah, I mean, like if I have to freaking wear this mask for 3 hours, like it doesn't really bother me. I don't know, like it bothers a lot of people way more than it bothers me. There's a lot of things that bother me in the world. This doesn't bother me nearly as much as anything else. I'm not saying it's great, like obviously it's useless, but it's also kind of like, it's magic and it's an illusion, because you know, it doesn't do anything. It's a spit bag over your face, but at least it makes people feel comfortable enough that they can excuse not having a healthy reality, and then they can continue doing things that are dangerous. And I think we're doing a lot more dangerous things than we'd ever done before, because we think that it's okay, and people are wearing masks and they're hiding their faces, and it's, you know, it's like, yeah, it's vapor Sharia is the real thing. It's not like I care that, you know. And if it was like, okay, I'm not being allowed to express myself, dude, I'm in a friggin' VR helmet at the airport. Like, obviously, I'm flying like 12 times in a year during COVID. I'm expressing myself, and you know, I'm getting to vote in a state that's not like an electoral college slave. I get to go to like a state where at least it might swing. It might, you know. That's the closest I've ever come in a crapshoot. Because usually I'm in California. It's like, that's crazy. Like, you have no say. Anyone who ever talks about the politics to you, remind them that it doesn't matter if you live in an electoral college state that's not a swing state, which means there's like 2 or 3 people that really might have some sort of casino jackpot thing where they're like, oh wow, you know, my vote actually affected the election. It's like, otherwise it's very unlikely. And even if that circumstance, like, your votes don't necessarily apply to the electoral college of the Supreme Court. So I don't know. I feel like this talk about being a slave, like, I feel way more like a slave. 6 points, like a you wish star. No, yeah, like that's pretty funny. So yeah, we didn't talk about Ruth Bader, Ruth Bader. Ginsburg. But you know, like rest, rip, you know, R.I.P. So, is that ring? I've had this ring forever. You guys haven't seen this? I've been wearing this thing for years, man. I have this one, and then I have the Knights of Malta one. Said Robert Hayes. Augmented reality, that Infinite says. You know, augmented reality is a strong question. I think that reality is augmented psychedelically, psychoactively, and through meditation, projection art, clouds. Like, there's definitely cloud art and things like that we don't understand. I don't go too deep into the operating system of the computers in a reset civilization. I'm not ready for that. But there is pretty interesting evidence about it because of how language is formed and how math is formed. You probably can predict some things about if there were computers, how they would run. So it chokes me out. He says, yeah, I just don't like the ear thing. You know, it's annoying. I smell like a quilt. Speaking, I don't know if Subiet's on, but I have her quilt. I brought that, which is awesome. Like, it's like a weighted blanket. So I have a quilt that was a gift for Subiet. It's the awesomest thing ever. And I showed on one of the videos probably already, but I'll show it again next time. But I can't because it's in the check bag. Yeah, Ella Oakham says, I live in a small Republican town. I don't know why I have to do it that way, but I do. I live in a small Republican town. I never ever had a mask, and I'm even in a Walmart. Okay, well, I live in a place without a Walmart. But I'm going to a small Republican town, or I don't know if it's Republican, whatever. There's Democrats, Republicans are all. It's like, I'm going to a town that believes in football too, you know. But like, yeah, I won't have to wear a mask there, which is awesome. And the California, yeah, it does stress me out that we have to wear masks all the time, but it makes you feel like you're in war. And, you know, I think a lot of people have admitted that this is basically a civil war. So it is what it is. But, you know, what's funny for me is the mask is like, I've not worn the mask very much, and then I've needed to a few times. Never for COVID or anything, but like, there's been a fire, there's been smoke. I went into my dad's house after the power went out, and the fish and stuff in the refrigerator smelled. I wore a mask to deal with that. Like, I've worn a mask a few times recently for like actual needs, and I've been lucky to have one, but it's never been for COVID. And I wonder if that's on purpose. Like, they're just getting you prepared that you have to have one for when the goings get tough. But if they ask me, I will tell them I am not a subscriber to the Matrix of Lies and can't share imbecile mentality with them. Well, I would tell them probably better, like, you're exempt because you have a health issue, and then tell them that, you know, they don't really have a right to ask you about that. Pretty sure. Or you could say that it causes you, like, you know, breathing issues, and, you know, like, it's whatever. But they'll probably tell you need it to go into the store or something like that, or they, you know, they won't help you. But then you could probably, like, see about if they really have a right to that. I don't know. I haven't really messed with it. The thing is, I'm not really dicking with people like that. There was that guy who was like, I don't need a mask. I got an exemption. They're like, what's your exemption? He shows a gun to the lady at Taco Bell. And he's like, this gun's my exemption. And she's like, whoa, I just get paid $8 an hour. Like, I don't need this. And it's like, okay, J-Doe, RGB. I've been Roy G. Biv, man. I can't help it. Roy Biv G. The red, blue, green. All right, red, blue, green. RBG died the night before the Seder of Rosh Hashanah, which is the holiday right now. Happy Rosh Hashanah to everyone. You know, and so that's kind of interesting because a lot of Jews believe that people are protected through Rosh Hashanah to help us with really difficult times. Like, if she was like really important, she would have died right after Rosh Hashanah. But so this way she dies the day before it is really interesting because that's usually, you know, means that she's a bad person according to like gossipy traditions. So I find that pretty interesting that she died on the eve before it. But yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'm like way over here alone. I think theoretically I probably don't need to wear a mask, but I don't hate it. I really don't. Just it's not getting me psychologically that worried. Like, and it's super thin. So here's the other thing: is I got this one as a gift. Like I'm walking around, I went to the cannabis collective and got like a pen or something, and they just gave me like a couple of these, and it has this little like British Columbia or Before Christ with arrows and things like that. I mean, symbology. I'm a sucker for symbology. So wearing it on my face, dude. Most conscious. Bandanas are better, and if you remember last time I flew, I did wear a bandana, but this isn't so bad. It's just so light on my face, and the bandana was a little bit hot on my neck. So, it is what it is. Yang gang. It's not left, it's not right, it's forward. Yang gang. I agree. I'm all about that. Like, careful with football politics. And, like, if you live in a place that considers itself Republican or Democrat, like, boom, that's your sign right there that you're part of the system, and you should be careful. Because, I'm not saying, like, Trump's not, or that Biden is, or whatever. I'm just saying, like, be a bit skeptical always, dude. Like, and the more skeptical, the better. Okay, so Vasilis, I spray my mask with perfumes, like I've got this Santal 33, and I just be like, oh, it smells so good now. And it's just like, I don't know, and I've got my bag of menthol and stuff, dude. Like, I don't know, I live pretty good, so I'm not like, it's hard for me to complain about stuff. Like, I can agree with you, like, if you're saying, oh, you have a hard time, I'm like, yeah, man, that must be rough. But if you're like, oh, Andreas, are you having a hard time? Like, how dare I? Like, honestly, like, how dare I be like, oh yeah, the mask that's where the life is hard. Like, never mind kids in Syria, never mind people in Santa Cruz raping and murdering, never mind people getting their lives, like, taken from them. Like, it's my mask. That's where I'm upset. And it's like, I'm not saying you should have to wear a mask, like, but like, it's just saying it doesn't bother me. It's not my issue to champion for like, that I need to come to an airport not wearing a mask and be like, they're gonna make exceptions for me. I don't care. I would friggin' wear friggin' burqa to visit Dubai or something like that. When in Rome, So it's like, we're in Rome right now. We're not in free Jerusalem. That's for sure. Comedy is not a joke. Correct. Comedy is drama in disguise, I think Socrates said. I made my own mask so the string go my head like a respirator. Good job, Roy Wonder. You guys have seen my like big mask, which is this pretty serious painter's mask, and people have already complained to me. They're like, well, that mask doesn't actually stop anything from going out, so it keeps you from getting COVID, but it doesn't save any of us from you giving us COVID. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad you know that. But yeah, it's easier to fly with this because like this is like not wearing a mask. Like it breathes even more than the handkerchief, and it's dark. It's been 72 years of hell for the Palestinians. Arguably, the Palestinians have been through 500 years of a lot of hell. But I love all the Palestinians that I know. And, like, some of them are lucky because they ended up in Chile and it's doing pretty well. Ooh, Sally, that girl. That's the worst song ever. I'm sorry, Sally, but I love your name, and thank you for the safe travels. So we were talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Some people keep saying like, oh man, everything that they said about her is a lie on both sides. And so I would just say that this thing is, look into the legal paperwork, and the fact that she said to remove from the language the age or the gender, and to try to kind of remove the definitions for interstate trafficking of people, let alone children or women. The way it really looks is pretty bad for her. And I'm sorry, I can't be one of the people to say, oh man, she's a hero for you. And like, I don't know. I'm not going to like try to like make, oh, she's the worst, pizza delivery lady in the world, but she kind of, it seems closer to that. And I wouldn't, again, like, go look into it yourself, but the legal language that she prevented other people from getting in trouble for their crimes of human trafficking, and yeah, everything else, like, I know that's a big issue with the African American Turning Point USA, like Candace Owens talked about, was like Planned Parenthood's association with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So, make your own decisions on every issue. But yeah, I wouldn't say she's a superhero. It's just a symbolic muzzle with 6 points of extension brought to you, says Jersey Bob. I agree with that, which is kind of interesting. The 6 points. In Roman theater, a comedy is a tragedy. It's true. The Romans did have more tragedy, but I think drama is slightly different than tragedy a lot of the time. But there is a level to it. Doesn't it really help that algorithms somehow? Yeah, algorithms are great. RBG, did you guys see on the deepfakes thing? If you guys check on, I'll post it on the Discord, but I put it on the Epic Reface Deepfakes Battles on Facebook group. Ruth Bader Ginsburg with Larry King's face digitally refaced, deepfaked. And it was, people were asking, like, did you do it yet? Or is this, what? Like, because it looks so similar. So that was kind of interesting, just to say. But, yeah. Well, it's 5:09, eh? Octagon. Evil will be defeated. Yeah, L. I think evil is being defeated all around us all the time. But it's also that we need to acknowledge it in ourselves, and we need to start building a more positive future. And if we're not building that positive future, then basically what we're doing is, like, by wearing this mask, like you're saying, I'm allowing evil to happen. And so you're right, like, in a certain level, we have to, like, decide, like, how much are we willing to sacrifice to do what's right, and how much right are we willing to sacrifice. Because in the long run, it's like, okay, well, if I don't wear this mask, then I can't do the little things that I need to do to make the world change in the way that I believe I'm supposed to try to do that. So, one day of the month to fly around the world, all right, 3 hours later, I get to take it off. So for now, I'm gonna do that a little bit. But clearly, I'm sitting in an abandoned section of an airport. Like, I don't need to be wearing the mask. And you got to pick your battles, because especially if you're in a war, you have to pick your battles, because if it's like, it's nonstop. And yeah, I think it's going to get more intense as time goes on. Like, but the mask is going to be this excuse where they're going to be like, oh wait, he's got a gun. Oh, he's got a mask. It's okay. Let him go. And that's seriously where society's headed, is like, oh, he's got the star on his arm for now. Like, but yeah, like, anybody who's noticing that, like, think about it, like, acknowledge it. There is the 6 points. They're definitely making people wear crazy symbols that aren't helping them. It's really funny, like, all the medical people that are okay with this, because it's like, you're suffocating yourself, because some companies are like, what do we do? We're like, we don't have medical advice. Can we get people to wear a mask? Will that make it okay? And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll have. No doctor originally said, like, oh, we need masks. That's gonna, like, put a tea bag of spit over your face. That's gonna help. Like, that's really gonna block anything. Like, no doctor started this conversation. Eventually they're like, well, yeah, mask will help, so we'll use the masks. But, like, in the meantime, don't expect results or anything like that, So, I don't know. Trying to figure that out. Yeah, I could already tell, like, people were like, that guy, 150 feet away, he's got a mask off. But yeah, it's getting pretty close to, it's not quite close to boarding time, but I think I'm going to get ready. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I'm going to say goodbye to America. To California, and say hello to America on my way. Have you guys seen Escape from LA? Escape from New York? Because I feel like I went full Snake Plissken with this. I did Escape from New York first, and now I'm escaping from, it's NorCal, but it feels like that. Eugenie, what's up, buddy? Yeah, isn't it weird? Like, still flying after all these years. Oh, and I got these cool, so my phone, I got a new phone. I got the Note 20 Ultra, of course. Like, I was like, oh man, Ultra. But it was like I traded my phone, and the next day they were like, the trade-in was less. So I got it, like, free for trade-in for my 8 Plus or something. I think I had to pay like $130 worth of taxes or something like that. But it was like, for a $1,300 phone. And I haven't had a new phone in years. So it's like 8, So I got the Note 20 Ultra, which has this, like, let me show you this thing. Is it gonna, messed this up reconnecting. I've got this pen now that comes with my phone, and I can doodle, which is super sweet. I used to have the Note when I went to South America, and I got it right before I went, so I had like the nicest phone in South America. I remember, like the Note 4 or whatever. It was like awesome. But yeah, so I got a new phone, but it doesn't have like a normal headphone jack. Apple like did that. I didn't know Samsung did that. That's screwed up. But lo and behold, out of cleaning my room, I found these Bluetooth like nice headphones. So now I've got like the full look where I've got, you know, like the. But tell me this isn't excessive. But, hold on. Like, tell me this isn't excessive. I don't know. This seems like I've gotten to new levels. Like if I don't think anyone's seen anybody like this yet in real life. That was not kidding, right? Like this is definitely the first person to not be kidding. I'm serious. I'm super serious. All right, love you guys. Enjoy the music. I will be listening to the Cats musical, Mr. Mistopheles song. Go ahead and enjoy that. And we all say, oh, well, there never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistopheles.